the overtime thing is so captivating to people.
It is.
And again, I've reached a spot where it's poker. I can't even, he was definitive. I'm only definitive if I know that the other team is going for two.
Well, I'm definitive in that I want to have the control. I don't want to have to worry about what the other team is doing.
Or you're a control freak, so.
I'm actually really not, which is funny, but in this case, I want to have the ability to
I get it.
To control it.
And
if you go second, you have control over what you need to do. Now, can you do it? That's a whole nother issue, but you go out there, you get a stop, 3 wins it. You give up 3 ties it, a touchdown wins it. You give up 7 ties it, 8 wins it. You have the control. So for you being a control guy, I'm surprised that you don't want to have that, because if you go second, you have more control.
I do think it's more circumstantial than some other people seem to think.
I'll allow for that to an extent.
Sean made it very black and white. I don't think so. I can understand the thought process for sure, but again, if John Lynch tells you our defense is completely gassed, we can't send them right back out on the field right now, I'm listening to that. Or what if it was a different team? Right? What if this is not Patrick Mahomes on the other side? And it's not a team where you're like, oh, they're going for 2, right? What if it's a team? What if it was the 49ers? Let's put this in the Chiefs' hands.
Or if the game was like 6-6 and you go to overtime and nobody has scored at all.
I think you need to account for the moment where the game can be won by a field goal. I think you need to account for that.
Agreed, but in that same light, that to me makes it even more galling that they didn't defer, because you're going up against a guy who had just gashed you. They just scored 3 consecutive times they had the ball, and you're going to give him the controlling hand by letting him go second.
But therefore, no love for John Lynch saying the defense was not ready to go back out on the field.
There's love for that, but the defense, it turns out, wasn't ready to go back out on the field 12 minutes later. I think the bigger issue and the rat on the table, brought to you by Atco Pest Control, is the defense was done. They were washed, and you lost Demo, Lenore, and you lost another member of the secondary on the same play. You already lost Dre Greenlaw. Your defense was exhausted, and you were down to a bunch of second stringers. So the defense was done anyway. I don't think that extra 10 minutes of orange slices and Capri Suns was going to matter at all.
If you look at it that way, then they absolutely should have deferred. But I don't think the Niners had decided what you just decided.
Right.
I don't think they thought that it was automatic that the defense was going to give up a touchdown. But if you're thinking that way, and if you're so overwhelmingly impressed by Patrick Mahomes, where you're like, well, he's automatically going to get a touchdown, well, then you defer. And you say, our only hope is he scores a touchdown, then we score a touchdown and go for 2. That's the only way to play.
It's not your only hope, but it's your best hope. I think no matter what, that's your best chance anyway.
Help us, Obi-Wan.
Totally. Your only hope. And, if you somehow get a turnover or you force Mahomes into a 3 because they're going to approach it differently when they don't have all 4 downs to play with, I think going forward, and I don't know how often we're going to see this, overtime in the playoffs, it's not a frequent thing.
Not often, yeah.
But, maybe next time you see it, you see the team that wins the toss defer.
Well, shoot, after this discussion,
I think so.
I think you'd be terrified to take the ball ever again.
Right, unless you had a ferocious defense.
Yeah, again, I do. I think it's more circumstantial than Sean sees it, in my mind. And that's fine. I mean, it's funny when he's like, 32 out of 32 coaches would defer.
That was funny.
There's at least one that wouldn't.
Yeah. And then he insisted you let him finish. That got a little heated.
That was before. Well, the funny thing, did you hear what he said? He goes, you asked me a question. Like, actually, it was a statement.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, I read a statement, and you mocked me to the guys behind the glass, even though it was a great statement.
Well, it's because you were doing a victory lap.
Well, I deserved it.
You made a great point.
It was a great point.
You're not supposed to make great points in an interview.
I thought we were having a conversation.
We are now.
That could be a conversation.
We don't need to have.
Really good question.
If you're going to make all the great points, then we don't need guests.
Some of the best.
I just throw it over to you. Let's go live to Dan Dibley for another great point.
I got more in the hopper, but
what else you got?
Some of the best interviews are just conversations.
Well, of course they're conversations.
They don't have to be me browbeating, Momo with questions. Oh, Mark, that was just a great question.
Freaking
Then she shows up on
Katie
TV.
Couric over here.
Totally.
All right. Bill in Newark.
Let's get to these calls. We got Warriors to talk about.
We do. The
Top of the hour.
Dubs are playing in an hour and 23 right here on the game. Bill in Newark, what's up, dude? Bill?
Newark?
Bill?
Gone.
Javier in Vacaville. What's up, brother?
Hey, brother.
How you doing today, Mr. Willard and Dibs?
Wow, those are dramatic pauses.
What's up, Javier? Had to get us off speaker. I respect it.
Hey, guys. So the question that I have is simple. For one, I do love what Salisbury said, man. He is a great interview. He just, sets the tone, and I just love hearing him talk. I have a simple question. If you had a preference, anything's practical, would you rather have Belichick or Vrabel? I can't, I'm very decisive. I can't decide in my mind. I just want to know your guys' opinion, because unless they get that type of hire, I think they might have failed with this firing, in my opinion. But I want your opinion on those two.
Yeah, so for me,
it's an easy one.
I know what Dibs.
And I'll refer you to
YouTube yesterday.
Well, that and Nahigi and our boss sent out a picture just trying to imagine what this would look like. You with egg on your face, and it's kind of a goofy Photoshop of it. It's, I guess,
that's over easy.
Yeah,
that's really over easy.
It's actually kind of like the inside of a hard boiled.
Well,
like when you devil it,
it's super
and you cut
yolky.
It's
yoked.
Heavy
it's
on the
yolked
yolk.
like Jay Glazer,
and it's on the forehead of a man who's about 41 years old, not 49.
Yeah, that picture is a few years ago.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
you look good though, kid.
Thanks.
You still look good.
What? The hair's brown. What
no, it's still some salt.
Yeah, some salt.
A lot of pepper.
Yeah,
salt and pepper.
Hey, push it real good.
It's the baggage under the eyes it's about one bag here. Right now you're 2 check-ons and a carry-on.
You think I'm more tired now?
Yeah, coach.
I am.
And you're handsome. I'm not trying to make this about you not looking good, but in this picture, you had a carry-on, and right now you're 2 Samsonites in a garment bag.
Mark Carry-On, he used to play for the Giants. I remember that guy.
Great call. That's a 4. Anyway, where were we?
Yeah.
Belichick.
Belichick and Vrabel.
Belichick.
I'm going to answer this 2 ways. I'm going to answer it 2 ways.
Of course you are.
If it has to be Belichick or Vrabel, I'm going Vrabel. And I'll explain that in a second. However, here's the real answer. ... Neither.
Yeah.
I'm telling you it's neither. So, first of all, Bill Belichick ain't taking this gig. You could start there. Second of all, presence. To me, too large. You don't want that. You don't want that kind of leadership in the room next to that kind of leadership. It's just, to me, it's way too much. I also think this idea that Bill Belichick is the perfect fit at age 72, having a hard time relating to players. I love that we want Wilkes down on the sideline being more energetic, and in the next breath we're like, let's get Belichick. Oh, that just screams sideline energy to me. This guy walking around with a poncho on, not looking at anybody. Get out of here.